6.b, and this is the second part of our circles section. I'll split it up so that it would be two smaller sections, which made the sections really small, but that's okay. Okay, so yesterday we talked about circumference on a circle. Circumference is all the way around the circle, right? Today we're going to talk about area, which we know that that means all the stuff inside. Okay, so area. Now, just like circumference, area has its own formula. The formula itself is just a tad bit more complicated, but it's one of those things where we're going to let the calculator do all the work. We don't have to do anything other than make sure we plug it in the right way. So the formula, area equals pi times radius squared. You might see it without the little dot. You might just see pi r squared, but you know that they're being multiplied. So, just like yesterday, this is our pi that we talked about, that same number. It's approximately 3.14. What does r stand for, do you think? The radius of the circle. And then this little 2 up here, that's just how we say squared, right? Squared. So the only dimension we need for this formula, we already know pi, the only dimension we need is the radius. Whatever the radius of our circle is, we plug it in, we type all this in the calculator, boom, you get the area. It's easy, okay? So let's do just a few examples here, and that's going to be it for us. The main thing here is going to be rounding correctly, so we are going to kind of review that again. So let's say we have a circle. Not a very good one. Off my game. Let's say we have a circle, and from here to there is 5 centimeters. Okay, for each one of these problems, we're going to find both the area and the circumference, just because I want you to be able to do both of them. No matter what kind of circle or how big your circle is, you need to be able to do both of them. So let's start with our area, since that's the new one. First thing is, just get your formula. Have it ready. Pi radius squared. We already know what pi is. The question is, what's the radius of this circle? So right here we're going to plug in 5. So we're going to type in pi times 5 squared. Calculator does it. Now, do y'all remember how to do squared in the calculator? Alright, so let me get this typed in. Pi, you're going to do second and then this button again, times 5. And then there's 2 options. You can either use this button right here that says x squared, or you can use this button here, and then you'll have to type in the 2. It's up to you, however you want to do it. Okay, we hit enter, there we go. Today we are going to round to 2 decimal places. Okay, 2 decimal places. So let's practice. We're going to look at the 3, and it either needs to stay the same or go up. Because this is a 9, does it stay the same or go up? Goes up to a 4, the rest of these stay the same. So the area would be 78.54. And we're going to put our units, centimeters. Since it's area, it will be centimeters squared. That's pretty easy, right? Again, the only things you have to do is make sure you plug it into the calculator correctly and then try your best at rounding. Let's try circumference. Now, for circumference, it's the formula that we talked about yesterday. Does anybody remember the formula without looking? Pi, it's a pretty easy one. Pi times diameter, okay? Pi times diameter. So, all we need is the diameter. Is this the diameter of the circle? No, we said that was the radius, but it's not hard to find the diameter, right? Add another 5, right? Like it's all the way across. So 5 plus another 5 would make the diameter be 10. So that's what we're going to plug in here. Pi times 10. pi times 10. And here's what I got. So again, to the second decimal place, this 1, does it need to stay the same or go up? Go up. 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. Yeah, I have a hard time remembering it, but that's what it is. So 5 or more means this guy goes up to a 2. The rest of this, we just write it 31.42. And this will be centimeters for our circumference. You will probably never get the same answer for your area and circumference. So if you do get the same answer, you should probably go back and see if you did one of those wrong. Okay, let's do another one together, and then I'm going to have you try 2 by yourself, and that's going to be it. Let's see, let's go, okay, here we go. Now that's a good circle. My diameter is not in the middle, but that's okay. Let's say this diameter is 12 inches. Okay, everybody got it drawn out? All right, first thing is area. Pi r squared. Are we going to plug in 12 right here? Is 12 the radius? It's the diameter. So we need to make sure we know what the radius is. Remember, diameter is all the way across. Radius is just half of that. How do I find half of something? Minus whatever the half is if we knew what it was. But yeah, you divide. You divide it by 2. 12 divided by 2, that cuts it in half. And that gives us a radius of 6. So 6 is what we need to plug in. Make sure you plug in the correct numbers, okay? 6 is what goes there. So pi times 6 squared is what we will type in. Pi times 6 squared. Okay, this is a good rounding one for us. So we're looking at the second decimal place. This is a 9. Because of the 7, do we need to stay the same or go up on the 9? Go up. What's the next number up after a 9? Well, this one's a pretty easy one. What you do is you put your 0 here, you carry the 1, and then you add those, which is just going to make it 113.10. And it would be inches squared for our area. Okay, circumference real quick. Pi times diameter. So what's the diameter of the circle? 12, good. So pi times 12 is what we type in. Okay, another good rounding practice for us. Is this what everybody got? All right, so I'm looking at this 9. And it either needs to stay the same or go up. Because this is a 9, it needs to go up. Now, when you do this, you put a 0 here, carry your 1, and you add those. So what's that become? 7. So it's going to be 37.70. And it's just inches. Everybody okay? Okay. I'm going to draw 2 here for you, and I want you all to try both of these. And then we will go over them, and that will be it. Okay. All right, so here's a circle with a diameter of 30 meters, and I want you to find the area and the circumference, both. And then another one. And I want you to find the area and circumference on both of those. Okay, so the main thing for both of these formulas is just understanding how to plug in things into the formula and then typing it in correctly. That's really the only thing you can do wrong, is typing it in wrong. So area, we got pi radius squared. The radius of this circle is not 30, but it would be 30 divided by 2, which would be 15. So hopefully you plugged in 15 here. Pi times 15 squared. Let's see what that gives us. Here's what I got. And so then to round that, the 5 needs to become a 6. So it's going to be 706.86 meters squared. Okay, for my circumference, pi times diameter. Now in this one the diameter is 30, so pi times 30. The 4 we need to round up because of that one to a 5. So it should be 94.25. Did you get those? Both of them? Good. Okay, for example 4. Pi r squared. This time they did give us the radius. That is the radius, so we're going to plug it in here. Pi times 4 squared. Pi times 4 squared. So here we go. The 6 needs to go up because of the 5. So that goes up to a 7. So my area is 50.27 feet squared. And then now circumference, which is pi times diameter. Since the radius is 4, we need to double it to get the diameter. All the way across would be 4 plus 4, which is 8. So I'm going to plug in 8. Pi times 8. And here's what we get. So on this one, the 3 needs to stay a 3 because we got a 2 here. So that stays. All of those stay. 25.13 feet. It's pretty easy, right? It's literally just plugging it in and typing it in.